that time. Time for Big Boys Boxing. Let's get it.
And still, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, and still unbeaten, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. What up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. Yes, it has been a while, but there's a reason for that. Man, we haven't had a competitive heavyweight fight with two guys inside the top 20 for a long time, man. We started off the year with a hiss and a roar with the PBC card with Helenius Kaunaki, Martin Sanchez, Demers and Washington. Then we had Parker Shizora 2. And since then, there's been a few prospects in fights where the winner is pretty much predetermined. The closest thing to competitive since then, really for me, I think it was last week, was Kevin Lorena, a cruiserweight, coming up and fighting Bogdan Dinu. And Bogdan Dinu did his usual routine, boxed okay for the first 3 rounds, came to round 4, took a couple of shots, looked for somewhere to lay down on the canvas and got knocked the fuck out. But we do have some hope. April and May are looking pretty good for the heavyweights. There's 3 fights in particular. Well, at least 2 fights, April, May, I know are happening. But of course, we're getting closer to the fight between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. So this fight here is coming. It's not that far away. Was it 23rd of April? I think. Yeah, I've been looked that up. Can't be saying the wrong date, can I? 26th of April, 23rd of April. Shit, one of those. Anyway, it's coming up. It's not too far away. We are the 30th of March here today. A lot of other places in the world, it's still the 29th, of course. New Zealand being one of the first to see the new day of the world. But around about 3 weeks, 3 and a little bit weeks, and we're going to get this fight going on. Now, just something I thought about. The arbitration case that Dillian Whyte has running is supposed to finish at the end of March. Guess what? It's the end of March. So I wonder if we're going to get to see any results in the next few days. But I don't know, man. These arbitration cases tend to drag out. Whether it's actually going to get done before the fight, I think that's a big question. Sorry, excuse me. Adam Fahey in the house. Good to have you in, brother. It's been a minute, man. Good to see you. I am good, thank you, brother. We've had COVID in our house for a couple of weeks. This is the first week the kids have gone back to school. Thankfully, neither of us adults, got 2 kids and 2 adults in the house. Both of my boys got COVID. One picked it up from school, the older boy. He had to have a 7-day isolation, and on the 7th day, we all tested, and my younger boy had it. But you know, the way things are at the moment, our government regulations here, the first case that you get in your house, everybody has to isolate for 7 days. And then after the 7 days, even if there's new cases in the house, everybody's allowed to go back to school, back to work, except for the person who's got COVID. So, yeah. But I tell you what, it's nice to have a bit of peace and quiet during the day for a little bit. My younger boy is He'll be 7 in a couple of weeks, but well, actually he'll be 7 3 days after the Tyson Fury Dillian White fight. I'm pretty sure it's on the 23rd. But he's not non-verbal autistic, so he's a real handful to have around the house 24/7 without having too much to do. The older boy's a little bit more switched on and helps out with things. It's frustrating having them both home 24/7. And over the last couple of years with this goddamn COVID, we've had plenty of time to spend together. Quality time, as we call it. Adam's going to the fight. I'll be there live for Fury v White. Awesome, bro. That's gonna be awesome. Get go, Jono. Not sure what that means. Tommy Tampa from the Boxing Lounge, but good to have you in anyway, brother. Alright, so yeah, this fight is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really making any predictions as yet, but tell you what, with all the shenanigans that's gone on, I'm not really a big backer of either of these guys. I don't really care who wins, and when it comes to the fight, I just hope the best man on the night wins the fight, you know. But with the shenanigans that have gone on, I'd kind of like to see Dillian White knock Tyson Fury out just to stick it to Bob Arum and Frank Warren. Because I think giving Dillian White 20% is a freaking ripoff. Total freaking ripoff. Dillian White's a star in his own right. He's headlined his own pay-per-views. He's worth more than 20%. But that's just my view. That's just my view, alright? But yeah, I am looking forward to that fight. It is... Put my shit out here. This other one here is 2 weeks afterwards. And it is Tony Yoka v Martin Bakole. This is a good fight. Both guys are relevant. Both guys have rankings. Well, actually, I'm not even 100% sure that Bakole does have a ranking. So I'm just going to quickly go and look that up. Yeah. Ranking. Official rank. So Martin Bakole have different. Quick look at your team. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Huey Fury is ranked higher than Anthony Joshua in the line. There he is, Martin Bakole's number 10 in the IBF. So this is a relevant fight, man. A little bit disappointed that we didn't get Filip Hrgovic v Tony Yoka. I think that's a better fight, but Tony Yoka is contractually obligated to give Martin Bakole his fight since it fell through the first time. Like I say, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's on the 14th. Wrong buttons. Okay. Right. Yeah, Martin Bakole, it's 3 weeks after the Tyson Fury fight, on the 14th of May. Okay, so be prepared for that one. And there is also another one that has been made that I'm also looking forward to, and I will get that up in a minute. But I think Tony Yoka should win that fight as well. Martin Bakole, he's pretty much living off the sparring stories with Anthony Joshua and has been for quite some time. He can hit hard enough for show, but when it comes to the crunch, someone gets inside on him. He doesn't really have much of an inside game, so I think Tony Yoka's gonna get to him and stop him. It's 8-9. Yeah. Let me just check. 12 or 10 rounds. I'd only be a 10 of this one. Yeah, it's only a 10 rounder, so I don't know. Tony might not get to him, but I think he will, man. I think it's still a good fight, and I'm looking forward to it. But yes, there is another one. The final eliminator between Filip Hrgović and Zhilei Zhang. This is going to be on the Canelo v Bivol undercard, and that's 7th of May. Let me see. Yeah, 7th of May. So this one is 2 weeks after the Tyson Fury fight. We've got the Fury fight, Fury and White fight. Then we've got a week out. Then we've got this fight between Bakoli and this fight between Hrgović and Zhilei Zhang. And then a week later, we've got Tony Yoka and Martin Bakoli. So it's a good month for the heavyweights. I'll be looking forward to them completely. So now that a few of y'all may have rolled in, I shall drop a link for anybody who might like to jump on. We can have a yarn. There's some other boxing news, of course. The big talking point at the moment is Devin Haney getting roped into a 3-fight deal to fight Kambosos. Rematch in Australia if he wins it, and then a fight against Lomachenko after that. And a few people seem a bit sour about it. Frankly, I couldn't give a goddamn shit. The fight's been made. Devin Haney took the opportunity with 2 hands and did what he needed to do to get the opportunity to fight for undisputed. Yes, Bob Arum's weaseled his way in and made it a 3-fight deal. It's under Top Rank. But anyway, we'll get to that if anybody wants to jump on. I've pinned that link to the top of the chat there, and I shall jump into the live panel channel myself. Find it. Boom, there it is. I am in. Alright, there is another fight that I think is going to be ordered in a not too long amount of time. Switch the back page. Here we go. Hughie Fury and Robert Helenius, I think, is one to be ordered. But no, the WBA, because it's WBA rankings that are in. Up to make sure that I'm up. Sorry, Martin Bakoli was number 10 with the WBA, not. So yeah, the WBA rankings, we've got Trevor Bryan going to be taking on Daniel Dubois. Yeah, I'll come back to that one because there's some Don King shenanigans going on again. Surprise, a goddamn surprise. But anyways, we've got Daniel Dubois taking on, he's number 1. He's taking on Trevor Bryan, WBA regular champion. Yes, I know the WBA have done away with naming it the regular champion, but still calling the super champion the super champion. But it doesn't bring any more, it doesn't make it any less illegitimate taking the regular off that belt's name. whatsoever. It does not make it any more legitimate. Yeah, I'm unmuted. We're good. Yeah, it doesn't make it any more legitimate taking the regular off the name. But anyway, next down the line is Michael Hunter, but Michael Hunter's messing around with Triller. Don't know what the hell he's up to. He wasn't interested in the Hrgovic fight. He's gone off on some kind of tangent. I don't know. It's a bit of a shame. Hopefully he'll come back to real boxing soon. Start taking on decent opponents, but he didn't look great in his last performance. Right now it's not that important because that's not the subject I'm supposed to be talking about. What I'm supposed to be talking about is Hughie Fury, who is ranked number 4 and Robert Helenius is number 3. Now the WBA have dissolved the gold title that Robert Helenius won against Kaunaki and defended against Kaunaki. But the trade-off is he's going to get a final eliminator of some sort, or possibly even a shot at the winner of Dubois v Bryant. But I think the WBA are going to order, well, maybe they'll try order Hunter versus Helenius first, but I don't think Hunter will take it because he's off doing his Triller thing, right? So I think Robert Helenius and Hughie Fury are going to get ordered, and that fight should happen. If it does, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm actually looking forward to a Hughie Fury fight. Pretty sad because he's a pretty boring kind of fighter, mind you. Better give him a little bit of credit. I guess his last couple of fights, he's actually tried to be a bit more aggressive. Started when he got a big cut against Kirat Pulev, and he started trying to be a bit more aggressive, and it kind of stuck. So, but we'll see if it gets to a higher level fight. How aggressive is he gonna be? How effective is he? But either way, it's got to be better than his jab and run and hold style that puts everybody to goddamn sleep every time we watch him fight. So, I think Hughie Fury and Robert Helenius should get ordered by the WBA, and if it does, I'll be looking forward to it. Quickly over the chat here, see what's going on, if anything. How do you cut out the fighters for your pitch? I use a free picture editing program called Paint.net. Paint.net. It's free. It's not that hard to use. A few of the controls might baffle people to start with, but YouTube has plenty of uses. I learned how to use it on YouTube, and it works really easy. It's simple, it's free. So there you go. Tommy from the Boxing Lounge. Easy Pill. Hi Johnny from the UK. Good to see you, Easy Pill. Pleasure to have you in, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. Right, so this, I better get over to this Daniel Dubois. This is Trevor Bryan. Just let me looking at or something. Hold on a second. Trevor the Dream Bryan. (22-0), and he still ain't fought nobody. I'm a champion that's fought nobody, unless you consider Bermain Stavern somebody. This day and age, hell to the no. Maybe back in 2014, 2013 to 15, he was somebody, but ever since, he's been an absolute mess. So, yeah, Trevor Bryan was supposed to fight Manuel Charr. Don King screwed him over, wouldn't give him the correct documentation to get into the States. So, Bermain, Stevenson was slipped in. And Trevor Bryan struggled his way to the 11th round before he stopped the old punch bag and Bermain Stevenson. Then Trevor Bryan was ordered by the WBA to fight Manuel Charr, and Don King did the exact same thing. Manuel Charr and his management didn't learn their goddamn lesson, got stung, had their pants pulled down, bent over a barrel, and shagged all the way home once again. Well, they didn't even get to America because they couldn't get a visa once again. So, unbeaten no, I'll just say it. Unbeaten nobody, Jonathan Goodry, slipped in. Surprise, surprise, another Don King fighter. He was 17-0 with 2 draws at the time. And Trevor Bryan fought him. Didn't look great, and to give Goodry credit, looked like he came straight off the couch. And he was giving Trevor Bryan fits for quite some time. And the fight ended up a split decision over 12 rounds. This guy comes out of nowhere and almost captures a fake world title. Like that. Credit to Jonathan Goodry, but shame on you, Don King. And Trevor Bryan seems to think he's the real champ. Crazy. I mean, who's his best win? Is it BJ Flores, who went down 6 times coming up from cruiserweight? Or was it Bermain Stevenson after he's been sparkoed a couple of times and he's good at catching punches with his face now? I don't know. So this fight isn't registered on BoxRec as yet. Don King won the purse bid. He outbid Frank Warren. Frank Warren put in like a $2.5 million purse bid, which is probably overpaying for the fight itself anyway. So Frank was trying to win it, but Don King puts in $3.1 million. Wow. And then I see in the news a couple of days ago, Don King, because the splits at the purse bid were 55-45 in Trevor Bryan's favour. I mean, Daniel Dubois is a much bigger name, and Trevor Bryan's the champ, so 55-45 I thought's still fair. I wouldn't even complain at 50-50, having the champ getting paid the same as the challenger, because Trevor Bryan is nobody. Straight up, he's a fat old nobody. If Trevor Bryan had this belt back in, say, 2015, I wouldn't be so critical of him, because he was actually in the gym all the time, he was in shape, but now he looks like he's trying to imitate a 45-year-old George Foreman. Fat fuck. But anyways, yeah, Don King saying he's going to try and take the WBA to court about the purse split. He thinks 25, I think it was 25-75, 70-30 or something is fair, but I don't know where Don King's getting his information from. What's he basing the fairness on that in? Just because Trevor Bryan's got a belt, that don't mean a goddamn thing. So we'll see. Is the fight going to get delayed because of it? I mean, the WBA's purse bid, I think, says they had to fight by the 21st of June or something like that. But I'm pretty sure they're aiming for the 18th of June, somewhere there. But where the fight's going to be is a very, very big question as well. if it doesn't get held up by any court proceedings, thanks to dickhead Don King, to me it makes the most sense to have the fight in the UK, because Trevor Bryan's only fan is probably his mum, so having a home fight in America ain't gonna make a hell of a lot of money, and sure as shit ain't gonna cover $3.1 million out of Don King's pocket. If he puts it on in the UK, at least the Dubois fans will turn up, and maybe they could get close to breaking even for that fight. But either way, I don't think it's really gonna matter, because Daniel Dubois is gonna take that belt from the Dream, Trevor Bryan. He's gonna take that belt from Don King, and Don King's gonna be left with squat. Hopefully he'll just go away after that. Every time there's a fight of any kind of profile, there's always Don King shenanigans. He's always trying to rip people off. He's always trying to scam somebody. And with this attempt at changing the percentages, I think that's a way to cover his own ass and say to Trevor Bryan, look, I can't pay you what I'm supposed to pay you because I don't have the money, but I'll give you this, and then I'll be able to afford to get the fight on. Okay? Give him a fake percentage. He's supposed to get, say, 75, maybe he'll get 50. Okay? Don keeps the pretend 25% to keep him out of bankruptcy. But it is what it is. It's a little bit down the line yet, and I hope the fight actually makes it to the ring, man, because somebody needs to get that belt out of Don King's hands, big time. They really got to get it out of Don King's hands. Alright, since it seems like nobody is going to join right now, well, actually, there is a heavyweight fight this weekend. Nathan Gorman is going to be in action. Find it again. What is his name? Find it. Nathan Gorman. Nathan Gorman. 18-1. The one loss to Daniel Dubois. This weekend, he will be fighting Scott Alexander. Oh yes, okay, Scott Alexander, who's 16-4. So, just a quick run through for y'all. Nathan Gorman. It says he's 6'4.5" here. He's not. I know he's 6'3". 194 centimeters. No, he's not. That's bullshit. He's got a 73-inch reach. Quite a short reach. And got a 63.16 KO ratio. He's fought 93 rounds, 19 bouts. He is classed as an active. Hasn't fought in over a year. Have it on there. What's going on? Who cares? Who cares? He's not past it. Anyway, I think he's like 7 or something. Oh man, birthday on it. But anyways, his opponent, Scott Alexander, like I say, is 16-4. He is 6'3", so he is the same height as Nathan Gorman. He has a slightly longer reach of 75 inches. And Oh, there he is. Age, he's 32. So, a quick look through Scott Alexander's record, because many of us, or many of you won't know too much about him. His last fight was a unanimous decision loss to Carlos Negron. Had a win before that, a split decision to Luis David Rodriguez Aguilar, who at the time was 7-26. Wow, dude's got 26 losses and he only drew with him. Ha! This should be a bit of a tune-up for I think Gorman, really. That went to 12, 6. Rick Cardenas. Yes. Travis Kaufman was the fight before that. He lost by majority decision, losing to Travis Kaufman. You're definitely a journeyman level. Doesn't have a high KO ratio looking at just the KOs that I'm seeing. Another unanimous decision loss over 10 to LaRon Mitchell. Okay, LaRon Mitchell wasn't a big puncher either. At the time he was 14-0. Here's a draw. Already draw. Tracy Johnson. What's he doing fighting women? I don't like Tracy as a man's name, obviously. Used to have a skipper called Oto with him. Wow. Unanimous decision loss to Rodney Hernandez. You know who Rodney Hernandez is? It was 16-1. Alright, that's enough of Scott Alexander. So it should be a bit of a tune-up for Nathan Gorman. Scott Alexander is durable enough, so he'll probably go the distance, and the fight is a 10-rounder. So it is what it is. Alright, so let's go Nathan Gorman, get some confidence back, buddy. You need it. Mind you, he did fight, what's his name? Richard Latte. Last fight. Pavel Sal was last fight. Richard Latte was before that. Richard Latte can bang it, but and he comes to fight, he's entertaining. But Nathan Gorman cleaned him up. It was over 10. I mean, there was moments in the fight where Latte was landing a few here and there, but you can see the skill level was a lot different, and Gorman was boxing a lot from the outside and doing really well in that fight, convincingly. I'm explaining it. Card. It was wide as 100 to 90, 99 to 92. How did you get 99 to 92? There wasn't any knockdown there. No, there wasn't. So someone's given a 10-8 round in there. Oh no, drawn round. That's what they're given. Yeah. So they're saying Latte won one round, drew one round. That was Marcus McDonald who did. I don't like it when judges do that. They're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to give drawn rounds. That's why it's called a 10-point must system. One person must get 10 and one person must get 9 or less, depending if there's knockdowns or domination. So sort your shit out, Marcus McDonald. Ian John Lewis. I think he's the one who's been reprimanded for the Cattrall versus Taylor fight. I can't remember off the top of my head anyway. But carrying on. We got Phil Carl Roberts in the house now as well. Good to have you in, bro. Expect the points. Expect the points for Gorman. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Alexander's durable and evasive enough, and I'm not sure how much confidence Nathan Gorman has got, and wonder if he's gotten on top of his weight problem yet. Not likely. I think he's a new father now, so be spending a lot more time at home, helping out with kid and whatnot, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, so on to the non-heavyweight news. We have Devin Haney will be going to Australia to fight three-belt lightweight champion George Kambosos. Now, he's been, to get the fight, he's had to sign a potentially 3-fight deal. If he wins against Kambosos the first time, the rematch will be in Australia. And if he wins that rematch, his next fight is going to be Vasily Lomachenko. And all of these fights are going to be on the Top Rank platform. Apparently the event is going to be held at a American friendly time, so it can go on prime time in America on ESPN. That's a good plan, and it works out pretty good for New Zealand, Australia as well, because it'll be, the main event will probably be at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in New Zealand. Over in Australia, where are they? Melbourne, so that'll be 2 hours behind. It'll be 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. So yeah, there's no excuses for any Australian and New Zealand got people not to catch it. It'll be prime time in the US. Unfortunately for you UK fans, it won't be at a very nice time for you. It'll be around 3 or 4 in the morning on Saturday, so it'll be very late, but it's definitely happening. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it was strong arm tactics that have gotten Haney to sign this deal. Top Rank don't even have any of these fighters. Why? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Devin Haney picked up his nutsack. He signed the piece of paper to take his opportunity with 2 hands. Be grateful the fight's been made. He's taking his shot at legacy, and he's doing what he's got to do to get it. Kudos to him. Now, the reason Bob Arum has gotten involved is because the fight between Kambosos and Lomachenko was pretty much done. All sorted out through Top Rank. But because Vasily's going to stay in the Ukraine, they pretty much just change out Lomachenko's name for Haney's name, and it's all set to go. That's why. Now, Lomachenko is going to get a shot at Undisputed, one way or another, thanks to Bob Arum's strong arm tactics. But, you know, Undisputed is a big deal. I can't blame Bob Arum as a promoter for trying to get in on that, particularly when probably the biggest money fighter in lightweight at the moment is under his promotional banner in Vasily Lomachenko. So, I'm not down with all these people bitching and moaning about, oh, Bob Arum doesn't even have a fighter in the fight, and he's weaseled his way in and forced Devin Haney. He didn't force Devin Haney to do a goddamn thing. If Devin Haney didn't want to do it, he wouldn't have goddamn done it. And there was another way. If he wanted a shot at Undisputed, he could have asked any of the 3 governing bodies, being the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA. He could have applied to any of them to be made mandatory for George Kambosos, then there wouldn't have been any of this strong arm tactics from Top Rank, because if they couldn't agree, he'd go to fucking purse bid. So Devin Haney has simply taken his opportunity. He has done what he needs to do to get the fight. Stop your fucking moaning. Christ. 5th of June, that fight is going to be happening. And a little bit of good news for us Kiwi fans. 2 of our heavyweights are promoted by Lou DiBella, because this is a Lou DiBella ESPN event. Junior Fa and Hemi the Heat Ahio are both Lou DiBella fighters. They are both going to be getting a fight on this card. They won't be fighting each other. They are stable mates, not only with Lou DiBella but also with the City Kickboxing gym in Central Auckland. They are both Tongan. They've both been friends for a long time. They will never fight. But as it stands, we don't have any news on who they will be fighting, just that they will be fighting on that card. So I'm looking forward to that. Currently, Junior Fa hasn't had another fight since he fought Joseph Parker last year, and Hemi Ahio has had a fight not too long ago against a guy called Muhammad Ali Farid Bayat, his name. He was coming up from cruiserweight, and they fought in Saudi. I can't remember what the name was. They fought in Saudi. Hold on, let me have a look. Hemi Ahio, the Heat. This guy, if you haven't seen him fight, man, he's a beast. I'm not saying he's a world beater or the best in the world or nothing, but he is one hella entertaining fighter, right? Yeah, his last fight was Muhammad Ali Bayat Farid. What do they call him? He's got a nickname. They call him they just call him No Bayat, I think is what they call him. But Hemi got to him and stopped him in the 2nd round. The fight before that was Julius Long. The 2nd time he's fought Julius Long, he stopped him in the 7th of 8. He did get knocked down in that fight too, did Hemi Ahio, but he came back and beat the snot out of the 7'2" giant. And remember, Hemi Ahio is only 6 foot flat, so he was a foot and 2 inches shorter than Julius Long, and he still managed to knock him the fuck out. Before that was Joshua Tufty. That was in America on a Junior Fa undercard. Managed to get the stoppage in that. And the one before that is the one that's on YouTube, that if you haven't seen Hemi Ahio, go and look up Hemi Ahio v Ali Kaiden. Ali Kaiden at the time was 8-0, I think, with 8 knockouts. And he's another one who's a hella entertaining fighter, is Ali Kaiden. He's had a couple of wins since then, but he's kind of like Hemi. But this Ali Kaiden guy gets a lot of 1st round knockouts, man. Got 15 wins, 14 knockouts, 1 knockout loss. His last fight was a knockout, 2nd round. Fight before that was a knockout, 2nd round. Fight before that was a knockout, 1st round. Fight before that was a knockout, 1st round. Fight before that was a knockout, 3rd round, 2nd round, and so on and so forth. Dude, he's been busy, man. He's been busy. This fight with Hemi was only a 4-rounder. Let me count here. Oh yeah, he's been busy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's had 7 fights since he lost to Hemi. And Hemi's had 2. Wow. So yeah, Ali Kaiden's up to 15-1 now. But yeah, Hemi Ahio, man, he's one of my favorite fighters. I believe actually that his last fight against Mobayat, I'll call him, at the time said it was going to be for the Middle Eastern WBC heavyweight title. It's a new belt they made up, but one of those trinkets that should get you a ranking. Just looking on BoxRec here, and it's not saying anything about it anymore. Click on event. Look, once he won that, I was expecting Hemi to enter the WBC rankings once he got hold of that belt, but it's not showing up anything on BoxRec anymore. It used to, so I wonder if they changed their mind. So even I saw Hemi physically hold that belt after the bloody fight. La Pala Dubois United Arab Emirates is where the fight was. Heavyweight contest, 8 rounds. Peace. Yeah, she got nothing about no goddamn Middle Eastern heavyweight title. But you know, Hemi being a smaller guy, I wouldn't mind seeing him try and go for WBC's Bridgerweight title. He could make 204 pounds piece of purse. Small enough, even though he has been weighing in at 250 odd pounds. Yeah, he's been, his last fight he was 258 and a half. That's pretty heavy for him. Fight before that he was 230. That's more like him. And the fight before that was 231. But if I scroll down, about 230s is his average weight. He's even said he can make cruiserweight if he wants to. There's one. He's only 214 pounds. 2017 when he fought Daniel Tai. That was an interesting fight. That one in the distance. And that was for the New Zealand, I can't remember which organisation, NZPBA title, I think. New Zealand Professional Boxing Association. But Hemi had some shitty shoes on. Every time he tried to step into a punch, his back foot would slip out from under him. So he couldn't knock Daniel Tai out. And to be fair, Daniel Tai is one tough motherfucker anyway. He is one tough dude. I mean, comes from a kickboxing family, but yeah, I remember Hemi looking really trim in that, 214 pounds. And you know, he's like I say, he's only 6 foot, so I don't think it'd be that hard to make cruiserweight, but making 224 for the Bridgerweight division, it'd be cool. And I wouldn't mind seeing him fight somebody like an Oscar Rivas or a Alan Babic, or well, that's one that I've been calling for ages. Alan Babic v Hemi Ahio. That shit's just fire, man. That is just fire. What do you have on about here, Phil? It's now Usyk became undisputed cruiserweight. Oh, Usyk. Yeah. the WSS tournament. Knowing the WBC, yeah, they changed their mind about and used parts of it. Yeah, I would. Yeah, exactly, Phil. They change up their shit whenever they want to. Hard to keep track of. Making a hell of a laughing stock. I mean, Jose Solomon will be turning in his grave. What SEO has done to the bloody organisation. Make people laugh at it. It's funny though, the two oldest organisations, the oldest being the WBA and the WBC, seem to have gone to the dogs. And the WBO was formed from a lot of officials high in the WBA who didn't like the corruption and what was going on with the organisation, so they went off and made their own. The WBO was born of the WBA, but the WBC, it wasn't too bad an organisation. It was very well respected when Jose was alive, but since Mauricio's taken over, it's turned into a freaking joke. What is it? Look on the wiki. Look on the wiki option box rec. Does say okay. For the inaugural WBC Middle Eastern, not middleweight, heavyweight title. Okay. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that, bro. I have to look into that wiki section more often. Doesn't make any sense that they haven't got that up on the belt though either. Hey, or even on the event. It usually has any title listed just above the referees and things, but that's what it is. But let's have a quick look. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked into it. I don't think Hemi Ahio is in the WBC ranking. I would have thought he'd be at like 15 or something, but Daniel Dubois is number 15, Martin McCauley's number 14, Robert Heleni is 13, Otto Wallen 12, Tony Yoka 11, behind to 10, Hergovic 9, Lewis Ortiz 8, Edric Cabello. How the hell is he still in rankings? Dude hasn't fought in fucking years. Let's have a look. Edric Cabello, what you doing? The German sleeper. Edric Cabello, still living off his close decision win over Derek Chisora, pretty much. Who else has he beat? Who's he beat to deserve being ranked? Kevin Johnson was his last fight. Hell to the no. Evgeny Lazaridis, 16 and 2 he was. I know who he is, but I've never seen him in the rankings. Fight before that was Andre Rudenko. Okay, that one's a little bit more legit. Rudenko's a tough mofo. He's pretty tough to stop, but at the same time, Lucas Brown beat him, so that gives you an idea of his level. He's tough. He's a good fighter to put prospects in against to get rounds. He's experienced. He knows how to survive, and he can actually punch. If he decides to throw his hands, he can punch. But I don't think a win over Andre Rudenko is worthy of a spot in the rankings. I've seen this before, I can never pronounce it. Miljan Rovkinen. Miljan Rovkinen. Yeah, I've seen him as well. Who did? Against Dimitrenko or something? That was it. controversial fight. You know, he was 19-1 at the time, and then the fight against Derek Chisora was before that. At the time Derek was 7-7. That was way back in 2017. Been living off that. He's fought a few times, but nobody of any real note. The last fight was UD, the fight before that was UD, the fight before that was UD. Last stoppage, third round of 12. Smiljan off Canada. Okay, so I can't see why Ajit Cabiel was in there. They're trying to move him carefully, I guess, to try and get him close enough to a title shot that he might win the voluntary sweepstakes or some shit. But you know, once this, that's actually a fight that I haven't spoken about yet. Maybe I have. Joshua and Usyk is going to be happening. At the very least, we know that much, because Alexander Usyk has left Ukraine and has begun training camp. Did move over the border into Poland, but still nobody really knows exactly where he's training for this fight. But Eddie's talking about the end of June, and I know many people are saying it's probably going to get stretched out a little bit. Might end up in July, but I'm not so sure. They're still working on a venue at this point. There's lots of offers around. Eddie was talking about they might want it in London, but got to make dollars to make sense. Pretty much saying whoever's going to pay the most money to have the event is going to get it. One thing's for sure, is sure as shit won't be in Ukraine or Russia. So yeah, I'm not so sure that it'll get stretched out, because I think Usyk wants to do his thing with his fight, and he probably wants to get back to helping his countrymen defend his country. So Eddie's going to have to get it made for the end of June. I think the contract for the rematch runs out end of June as well, so he wants that fight. He has to get it done. Unless, of course, they come to some sort of verbal agreement, and we know Alexander Krychuk and Eddie Hearn seem to work fairly well together. So who knows? But I'm banking on it being at the end of June. I hope so. Frank Sanchez. CU? What's that mean? CU. Probably. Frank Sanchez. CU. Oscar Rivas. In a great fight. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Frank Sanchez be entertaining against someone who's going to attack him, yes, but he doesn't really have offense. He works pretty much solely on counterpunching. So if he ended up in the ring with somebody like Huey Fury, it'd be wake me up when the 12th round's finished. Because that shit would be horrible to watch. Frank Sanchez has some skills though, so don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't dislike the dude. He's just got to have the right opponent to make him entertaining. Otherwise, it's just sleeper shit, you know. They're already in training. Joshua usually has a 12-week camp. Yeah, always a notoriously long camp for Joshua. So there won't be any excuses of not being ready. I mean, the only person who could say that would possibly be Alexander Usyk, but he is a consummate professional. I don't expect any kind of hijinks like that from Alexander Usyk. End of June sounds correct, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm glad that for the heavyweights in particular, things are starting to pick up a little bit. April, May, June, starting to get a little bit more busy. Starting to get pretty bored with a lot of shit, you know. So, looking over to boxing scene, see what any new news has popped up. Warriors, not interested in myself. Gilberto Ramirez need to move up to face Alanga Makabu. Fighter and Makabu looked like shit against Machuno in his last fight. I thought Machuno won it, but Don King with his what was it, a school gymnasium venue and his paid off judges managed to rip Taibusu Machuno off and give Langa Makabu another chance to defend his WBC title. Someone's gonna take it from him before he wins the Canelo sweepstakes, I think. But hey, Canelo v Bivol. Everyone thinks Canelo should beat him, but I'm not. That dude's a freaking technician, man. He's got a hell of a chin and he can move. Everyone's saying he's a legit light heavyweight, but he's quite a small light heavyweight for a light heavyweight. He could make 168. He said so many times in the past. He said he'd fight Canelo at 168, but that's not what Canelo wants because he can't get a hold of the belt that the WBA belt that Bivol has. They're going to be fighting at light heavyweight, and it is what it is. It's on the 7th of May. What do we got here? Joshua Usyk rematch. Location still in talks. Several offers on table. Maybe we'll have a quick listen to this one, eh? Have a quick listen to Computer Host, see what we get. Here we go.
Usyk Joshua rematch, location still in talks, several offers on table. Eddie Hearn has insisted that no deal has been agreed to stage the Alexander Usyk vs Anthony Joshua rematch in Saudi Arabia, despite reports claiming a $120 million offer had been made by the country. The fight has been tentatively scheduled for June 25 after Usyk left Ukraine to begin training for the fight. He had previously returned to his homeland and signed up to an army reserve force after Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24. Usyk had claimed the WBA, WBO, IBO and IBF heavyweight titles from Joshua last September at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London, and it had been expected that the rematch would take place either there or at Wembley Stadium. But Usyk's promoter Alexander Krasuk revealed on Sky Sports on Tuesday that Saudi Arabia had made a bid, with other sources claiming that the deal was done. This location is under discussion at the moment, Krasuk said. Many things will depend on how fast we manage to ink the papers. The good thing is that Usyk is already in Europe to start his preparation. But while Hearn insisted that the country had made an offer, several others were on the table. Nothing's been agreed, Hearn said. There's been interest from home, Saudi, other countries in the Middle East and the USA. Boxing is hardly new to Saudi Arabia. The biggest event they have staged so far was Joshua's rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2018 in Riyadh, while the World Boxing Super Series final between Callum Smith and George Groves was staged in Jeddah.
Yeah, alright, that's enough. I'm just telling us shit that we know, but there you go. Tentatively placed for, what was it, June 25th? So, that's good. Still don't really know where Usyk is training. They said Europe there, but I wouldn't at all be surprised if he is in Germany at Vladimir Klitschko's training facility. That would make sense. But at the same time, I wouldn't at all be surprised if Vladimir Klitschko's a bit pissed off that Usyk is buggered off to go and fight. So maybe he wouldn't let him, I don't know. That'll be an interesting conversation because you know how Vladimir's getting on. He's getting on Bivol's case, even though he's not born in Russia. And he's verbally said publicly that he's against all the shit going on from the Russian army and so on and so forth. But you know, I'd expect Vladimir to be a bit pissed off that Alexander has left the country to go and fight when everybody else has to bloody well stay there. Yeah, less than a month till the Fury v White fight for Shell. 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks, and we are there, man. Looking forward to that. Let's go, White China! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I really don't care who wins, but I'd love to see Fury get knocked the fuck out. I'd love to see it. Yeah. I'll leave that alone now. Still no undercard announcements. I heard John Fury was going to be on the undercard. Did you hear that one? I think they want it to flop. Wow. I don't know. I'll go have a quick look on Boxer. If John Fury did get listed on there. Pardon me. Nice in the dipsy thing. Alright. We do have one fight on the undercard. We have Isaac Lowe. Is going to be fighting the almighty TBA. But no sign of John Fury on the card. I'm sure I saw an article saying that John was gonna scrap someone on the card. Maybe he's gonna try and take on that, what's his name? Mickey T or whatever his name was. Can't remember the dude's name. Help me out, chat. Mickey someone? Fucking Mickey Mouse. I can't remember. Oh yeah. We getting there. What's on this weekend? I know there's only pretty much Gorman on for the heavyweights, unless got to the bottom of the page for the schedule, and it was still for the 2nd of April. So go page 2 and see what any more. Might be some American cards. Card that way. Yeah, right. So for the heavyweights, ain't a hell of a lot happening this weekend. I look at boxing. Bullshit. Important ones come up. Bishop Joshua rematch. That was the story we last looked at. Ahern. Obviously more beneficial for Dubois to do Cambosis v Haney. Deal with ESPN. Yeah, I did actually see, was it the Design Boxing show with Ak and Barak? They had, they call it Hearn Unleashed. They have once a week, and Eddie had a bit of a yarn about why the fight's not going to be on DAZN and so on and so forth, but apparently DAZN couldn't get the Australian broadcasting rights, and that was a big tipper for them not being able to make the deal, because Australia, they want to do their own pay-per-view there, of course, and DAZN wouldn't allow that, so that was a biggie. But also the fact that Lou DiBella had pretty much sorted out the Lomachenko fight, everything was already set up, had a lot to do with it as well. And the think both guys are going to get paid more fighting under ESPN, so it makes dollars, it makes sense. Valdez v Stevenson, is that this weekend? That's a hell of a fight, man. It is a hell of a fight. What did I say? I saw it. Shakur Stevenson says he thinks he is actually the best boxer in the sport. Can you go any bigger, bro? Maybe you need to grow an afro to go with the size of your head. So humble. Aram on Crawford calling Aram on Crawford allegations. You can call me a lot of things, but calling me racist is fucking stupid. Yeah, I think it was a bad move by Crawford. Certainly won't be getting any work from Top Rank ever again because of it. Even though he didn't have a contract anymore, if he hadn't come up with this dumb shit, then he might have still been able to get fights on ESPN against ESPN fighters if necessary, but he ain't gonna get shit from Bob no more. Ain't gonna get shit. What else we got here? Kenya. Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia, and Joey Gamache is a match made in heaven. And I don't want to hear about your gay fantasies, Oscar. Piss off. Ryan Garcia needs to get his shit together. Whether it's Joey Gamache that can help him or not. Oh, not Joey Gamache. Sorry, Joe Goosen. Whether it can help him or not. It's all going to come down to Ryan. He's got to get his head in the right space, otherwise he's just got to shut his face. Talking about, saw an article the other week about him saying, George Kambosos caught Teofimo at the right time. That is all. Basically taking all credit away from George Kambosos. You fucking piece of shit, Ryan. You're a piece of shit saying things like that. You don't get to talk about champions until you get your ass sorted so you can fight one of them. Otherwise, shut your fucking head. Calbrook thinks Amir Khan must be crazy for wanting a rematch. He doesn't want the rematch, he wants the money though. So, he's entitled to it. Get it done. Let's just hope Amir Khan survives. See what? Oh. See, I don't understand what that thing's on the end of that story. Into it. CIA. Interested. Akhmadaliev. Oh no. Yeah. Akhmadaliev. Add to upcoming. Yeah. Can't pronounce that, so I'm not gonna bother. Rata. What's that this weekend? Oda Murata, Gennady Golovkin. Unification. Oh, I looked that up. In Japan, not that much. Ryota Murata v Gennady Ganayevich Golovkin. $41-1 with one draw. On the 9th, of course, so it's next week. Okay, not the weekend coming, it's the next week. That's fine. Switch over to the chat if you are talking it. Oh. Makes sense. It's a huge fight in Australia, yeah. It is a massive fight in Australia, and if they do it in the daytime on a Sunday, there's no excuse for anybody to miss it, you know. They won't be competing with hardly any rugby league. It's a big sport over there. That's why they have a lot of the boxing events midweek in Australia, so they're not competing with any other sports. But a fight of that magnitude will do well in Melbourne. And yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Joseph Parker v Luis Ortiz. Not interested, man. Luis Ortiz he's done. If you're gonna get dropped by jabs from Charles Martin, you done. You fancy him coming out and saying, yeah, I'm ready to fight Filip Hrgovic now. Now that Filip Hrgovic's already been in a purse bid and he's got a fight schedule, you come out and say that? Waste your breath. Has been mofo. And the next fight I would like to see for Joseph Parker is Joseph Parker versus Joe Joyce. And apparently there is negotiations going on for getting that fight made. Joseph Parker might be a Queensbury Promotions fighter for a couple of fights. I'm hearing that he's being offered a 2-fight deal or something. So we'll see what happens, and if that happens, it'll be a legit final eliminator for the WBO, because Joe Joyce is not officially the WBO mandatory. Frank Warren keeps saying it. I did some research on it the other day trying to find something from the WBO. There is no mandatory for the WBO right now. Frank Warren did come out, I think it was February last year or something, after the Tacken fight with Joyce. He announced that Joe Joyce was the mandatory, and all over the place, all over media. And then way later on in the year, in September, there was an article published that said Joe Joyce is waiting on the official word from the WBO to become mandatory, and there's still no official word. So Frank, Fish Eyes, you're full of shit. Full of shit. Be a tough fight for Joe. I don't think it'll be a great, easy fight for Joe Joyce either. Amir just wants step aside money. That's probably right, Phil. I wouldn't put it past him. Either way, he wants the money. He doesn't really want the fight. Surely he doesn't want to get his face smashed in again. Andy Ruiz, Derek Chisora is a great fight. I've wanted to see that for years, but once again it won't happen. Next for Andy Ruiz will be Luis Ortiz. Pretty much made already. Even Andy Ruiz came out, I think it was like a week ago, putting posts up out of the blue, hasn't done anything for months on social media. Then he puts a poll up. Who you want me to fight? He gets offered a fight to fight Derek Chisora, but no go. BBC Isolation Island won't allow that shit. So they'll keep it in-house. Have Andy fight. Has been. I mean, neither Ortiz or Ruiz are looking good. Ruiz looked like shit against Chris Arreola. Got knocked down. Didn't look to have Arreola in any real trouble at any point. Luis Ortiz down twice from Charles Martin jabs before he managed to land one lucky punch later in the fight. Don't try and tell me he was setting Martin up either. The hell to the no. He was getting peppered from Martin all freaking night. Put on his wallet 2 times from jabs. Crazy shit. Phil says, I need to tell my bro about the Triple G fight. It's on the zone. Yes, it is. It'll be at an odd time because it's in Japan too. Ryota Murata's a massive star in Japan, so I can understand why that fight is there. Once again, back to that saying, where it makes the most money, it's gonna make the most sense. If Fisheye says something enough time, he thinks he thinks it's the truth. Wow, he's a promoter. He's gonna keep saying it and keep saying it. Hopefully that everybody else around the world is gonna keep saying it, and it works. Doesn't make it true, but everybody else is saying it in the boxing community, so you know, pretty much everybody thinks that it is true because everyone's saying it. It's bollocks. Just like that lineal bollocks. Lewis Ortiz v Kubrat Pulev. Yeah, I'd watch that. Both of them passed their best, but I think Pulev's probably still got enough in the tank to beat Ortiz, to be honest. I don't know, I could be wrong, but okay. It looks like Kubrat Pulev's actually coming back from the Triller Triad combat, and he's gonna have a real fight. Let me look it up here. Oh, his little brother Tervel Pulev is gonna be fighting Sergey Kovalev at cruiserweight. Tervel, I don't know, man. There's another Kubrat Pulev. Surely not. Who looks just as ugly as him. Oh, bare knuckle boxing. He's had a bare knuckle fight. No shit. He's 1-0 in bare knuckle. Kubrat Pulev. I know they had bare knuckle on BoxRec. Pulev 28-2. Yeah, that's him. Fuck, he's ugly. Oh, that's right. He's fighting Andrei Fedosov. 32-3. He's gonna be fighting one of Fury's comeback fights. Let's have a look at the events. I'm sure that's the same event as Tervel. Yeah, Sergey Kovalev and Tervel Pulev are the main event by the looks of it. Cruiserweight. And it is a Brian Kavanagh. Triller. Ah, it's another Triller card. It's been making enough money to stay there. Kubrat Pulev, Andrei Fedosov. Who else on this card? Evan Holyfield, Evander's son. 9-0's also going to be on the card. He's going to be taking on Justin McDonald, who's 6-0. It's a welterweight. Shit, is he that small even? Guess a bit bigger than that, but meh, is what it is. Got a super welterweight fight between Fernando Vargas and the almighty TBA. And there's a featherweight fight on here. Amado Vargas, I don't know who. AMADO. Amado Vargas. 3-0. Don't know the Duke, mind you, they're midgets, so not likely to know them. Anel Dudo. That's a weird name. It's spelled ANELDUDO. Anel Dudo. Like a fucking anal dildo. Dickhead. Poor bastard. Yeah, okay, and there's another lightweight fight on there. It's not worth mentioning, but yeah. When's this on? Saturday the 14th of May. Okay, so that's the same weekend as Yoka v. Bacoli, 14th of May. Obviously be at a different time though, because I'm pretty sure the Yoka Bacoli fights in France. As far as I understand, I'm not going to go looking it up just to see the venue. But yeah, interesting. That at 10 AM UK time, yeah. Triple G card. Name UK time, so that'll be, what's the time there right now, Phil? Is it 11:29 PM or is it 10:29 PM? I think that's how it works. Over 13 hours behind me, so I can get an idea. Frank Sanchez v Joe Joyce, that would be interesting. That would be interesting, Adri, because Joe is going to attack him and Frank's going to try and counter all night. But the attack from Joe Joyce isn't going to slow down, and the counters from Frank I don't think will slow down either, so it'll be interesting. So I think Frank's got enough pop. When he does actually step into punches properly, he can do some damage like we saw against Jugba when he actually stepped into a couple of shots. He put him down. Yeah, Yoka fight is in France. That's Phil. 11:29, yeah, okay. So you're 12 hours behind us, but our daylight saving changes this weekend. Our clocks will go. Let's go back an hour. Yeah, it does. It's back an hour on Saturday night for us. So we'll be back to 13 hours behind you then, I think. Unless your daylight saving must change again too soon, because you guys have daylight saving over there as well, don't you? As well as man. Alright, I've just about run out of subjects to talk about, to be honest. What are the fights this weekend that y'all are looking forward to? Let me know. Give you my opinion on them. Obviously not the Gorman v Scott's Alexander fight, because I spoke about that one. But there's other weights this weekend that will be of interest. Some bigger fights happening. Is Valdez versus Stevenson this weekend? Oscar Valdez. That is a good fight. Spell. Stupid man! Idiots. Let's get revealed this. America's. Here we go. Video. That's the mofo. Oscar Valdez is fighting Shakur Stevenson on the 30th of April. That's miles away. Huge fight, but that's miles away. So that's the fight between the week between Fury and White. Then we got the week in between being Valdez and Stevenson. Then the week after that we got Canelo Bivol, of course, but we've also on that card got Philip Hergovic and Jili Zhang. And then the week after that, we've got Martin Bacoli v Tony Yoka. Chats, if you guys have filled me in on what fights you're looking forward to this weekend. I'm not looking forward to any fights in particular. I want a good card, yeah. It's one of the reasons I haven't been that active. This is supposed to be a heavyweight channel, but with regard to heavyweights, I'm not going to waste my time talking about guys outside of the top 100 or guys that are inside the top 50 but fighting guys outside of the top 200. I'm not going to waste my time with that shit. I'll watch some of them if they're available and get a good gauge on what you can take from an eye test, but when the fights aren't that competitive, how much can you really take from a fight? You can look at someone's speed, you can look at someone's footwork, their punch technique, but you got no idea of how the defense is going to be because the opponent is staying up to par. You don't get much of an idea of how hard they punch because the guy that they're facing isn't prepared to take punches like these guys, so this is one of the reasons I haven't been that active. It's supposed to be a heavyweight channel, but I certainly have been watching a lot of other boxing. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy other weight categories. I just don't publicize them too much on this channel. But I certainly do watch them, and with friends on fight parties that I run on the Discord these days. Open up a voice channel and stream the fight in there, turn the fight volume down fairly low so we can talk between each other. My next plan is to try and get some of the participants in the fight party to have a practice at commentary. Maybe one day somebody would like to join me on a commentary stream and go round for round calling a fight or something like that. But we'll see what happens. If anybody's keen on doing that sort of thing, let me know. Hit me up on Discord. The links are all in the description. You can private message me. You can join the Discord and get involved with the discussions we have in the text channels. You can jump into the voice channels, talk with anybody who's in there at any time, or just come in to watch live fights, because we do stream live fights there as well. So there's plenty of avenues you can get involved with Big Boys Boxing. We also have a Facebook page. I mainly use that for news. Also have a Twitter page, but that's basically so I can snoop on boxes and comment here and there. But Discord is a biggie. We have a great little community over there these days. Phil Carl Roberts is one of our regulars over there, along with guys like Mr. Hannibal B, Phil's brother Shambles, the Techophobe, Adolfo Riviera. We have a couple of hundred members, I think, in the Discord now. So get involved. Great fun. If the fighters are good, then I'm fine with it. Yeah. Need more heavyweight fights in boxing. We do at the moment. It's been pretty scarce and scattered over the last year, even 2 years, since this COVID's been around. It's pretty much wrecked a lot of things, but hey, when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, there's only one way to go. It's up to the sunlight at the top. Okay? Can't really go down any further. It's been months since we've had a meaningful heavyweight fight. Months. So I think I'm probably going to wrap it up there, team. Thank you very much for joining me. Phil Carl Roberts, Adri, the Boxing Lounge, Tommy Temple was in earlier, Adam Fahey was in earlier, Easy Peel was in earlier. Who else we got here? Oh, cool. I think I've got everybody. Yeah. And if I have missed you, I do apologise. Oh, there we go. Wyden Smith. Wyden Smith. Yes. Of the work, Triple B. Boxing. Worst thing, just busy with. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It was a pleasure, always a pleasure having all of you in. I do appreciate you all. Just to finish off, if anybody would like to make a donation or a tip, the avenue is in the description. I won't be turning on super chats anymore. I'm totally sick of YouTube taking 30% of your fellas' donations, so screw them. They already get enough out of us. We'll do it the other way. It's a Streamlabs link, but fear not, it is just a Streamlabs link, so if someone makes a donation, it pops up on my stream. It's just a PayPal. But like I said, thanks for joining me, and I shall catch you all next time. Stay safe. I'm out.
So that's us for today. I hope you have enjoyed. You can show your appreciation with a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to check out our Discord community where you can find boxing news, fight links, live streamed fights, and much more. So look after yourself and your family. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See you!